conditions. Okay, there are some access deny rules. So there are the conditional access we have, and then we have privilege as well. Privilege. Okay, so there's based on that actually we can do the security control of the Pega, right? And then we have seen the enterprise class structure, right? Within that we have seen the different concept related to the class, what is abstract class, concrete class, like how concrete class is mapping with the database connections, and with the concrete class we've seen also one thing like class group, like which belongs to class group, is a class group and does not belongs to class group. And then we saw about the inheritance. What is you mean by inheritance? So then like we have two inheritance, like your directed inheritance and pattern inheritance. So I just give you some actually like that how actually like when you are using the inheritance, where it is comes into the picture. So that actually we have seen. Then we talked about the rule sets, like what is the rule set, okay, how you can create a new version of the rule set, what is major, minor and patch, okay, and I talked about check-in, check-out feature and also private edit feature. Okay. Yeah, and then we have seen actually the rules, right? The rules are associated with four things. It's your ID, then your type, then you have applies to class, and finally like where you are going to store the rule, right? So that is the rule set. So the rules actually are associated with four different things. Yep. So this is actually like we have covered in the building blocks for the Pega environment. Okay. So this is actually like give you in the future classes you will get to know how this the different concepts which is there are going to be used. Okay. So today what we are going to do is we are going to start with the data modeling. Okay. What actually like we do in Pega concept of data modeling. Okay. What are the things which we can do in the data modeling? So what do you mean by data first? Like what is data? So data is the information. Actually, like if it's related to which context, you can need to check it out. So if it is data is nothing like if you say is a case. So currently, like we are doing a case for our application is purchase. So what you want to purchase? Okay, how many quantity you want to purchase? What is the price of each quantity? Okay, is there any delivery charges? Is there any separate tax? Or how I'm going to make payment for it? Debit card, credit card, or payment wallet, mobile, any other methods such as like net banking, or you want to pay with some other mode of like by cash or by some other coupons, discount coupons. So many things you need to worry about different data for that. So for each data, actually you need separate type of data. Some are integer, some are date, some are text, some are other format of it like date, time. So everything you need is separate variables or separate data to capture it. So Pega also I feel like it's a very good in that. So see what they did it, they have not gone for many type of variables. They have gone around 10 to 12 type of variables, and within that, I think that will suffice the all the data we are going to capture within that. Okay. So normally if you go to the records and if you see the data model, you can see that all the data models, different type of rules which is there in related to data. So in mainly like the variables which are there, that we called as property in Pega. Okay, so the main thing when you are starting to start, you need to understand with the data model first. What is your property? Okay, and then the things actually like it's not that much is required, like data flow, data set. Okay, these are the external data flow. These are the some external new rules which is introduced in Pega 7.2 only. It was not there in before Pega version. Okay. Jacob,
Yes.
can you mute from your end? Actually, there is some background news noise coming on that. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jacob. Good. Okay. So in the data model, actually, you can see that the first, actually, when you're going to decide for your uh, case, you need to decide on the what is the property you are going to use with that. So in the data model, you can see there is actually like different rules are present. So data flow, data sets, external data flow. Okay, these rules actually we are not going to cover. These are some of the rules which is related to some advanced concept of analytics and Hadoop and decision management. So that's actually like not required for the initial level. So that we're going to skip that. Okay, and apart from that, all we are going to cover. So what is property? Okay, so within that first rule is the property, and there are then property is associated with different rules. So property is associated with, we have edit input, edit validate, okay, then property analysis and property qualifier. So there are the four rules are also associated with the property qualifier and property analysis. Okay, so these are the four rules we associate with the property. Okay, then apart from that property, we have you can see data transform rule. So data transform rule is a rule in earlier version of Pega that is actually called as model rule. Model. Okay, so in earlier version, data transform rule was named as model rule, but in with Pega 6 they was named as data transform rule. Okay, actually like this is actually mainly used to initialize the value. If you are going to set the values from one form to another, like you have received the value from somewhere and you want to put into value into a different page or different context, we can go for data transform rule for that. If you want to delete the property, you want to erase the value, erase, and then if you want to work in array, there also you can use this data transform. Okay, so that is the okay, data transform. Have you heard about constructor in Java? Actually, if you are familiar with the OOPS concept, actually this is actually like we call as constructor in Java, right? So which is actually like used to initialize the variables. So same thing is the data transform of the model is used the initialization of the value. So that's the initially purpose of data transform. But now this was enhanced and it's using for different purpose now. So that's your data transform rule. From the data transform rule, actually like another rule actually we mainly come up data type. Okay. So what is data type? Data type is nothing but is actually collection of property. Like if you is a single class or what you can say which contain the related property. So if you say I'm saying customer, so for your purchase, who is going to purchase your application, right? So customer I created as a data type. So it will be associated with a class, okay, and then it will going to contain the attributes. So how you will recognize a customer? So you need to know his title, okay, his name, first name, last name, okay. Then actually like you need your date of birth or marriage anniversary date so that you can sending offer on that. Then you need the email ID, phone number to contact. Then you need the address as like how you are going to deliver to them. So that's actually, and then if you need more details, also you can get it from them. Actually depend on how you are going to relate with the customer. So initially basic information, you need this one. Okay. So this is the different attributes you're going to put into the customer. So that actually you are defining that as a data type. Okay. So I'll tell you about more on data type as well. So once you have data type, there is one more concept we call as data pages. Okay. So data pages is what? Data pages, okay. When I am talking about in previous classes about the cache, right? So cache actually is what? Cache is your temporary area, right? When you are going to do that and you are going to access the any area, it will be going to be the in the cache, and from the cache it's going to be displayed into the UI. So Pega introduced another concept like the database. So database in previous version, actually until Pega 6, it was named as declare pages. Okay, which is named as data pages in Pega 7. So what's actually the good thing about the data pages is data pages are the temporary pages which actually mainly we using. So if you say you are going to put some values, so what you are going to do that you're trying to get the values, okay, and put into the data pages. So normally like it will be reside on the cache only, but what is that you need to define it only once. Whenever you need it, Pega will try to load this page. We'll come into that. So we'll talk about more detail on data pages because data pages is widely used across Pega. Okay, so how we are going to define the data pages and how we are going to do that, we'll see it out. Okay, so these are the different rules we are going to cover as part of the data modeling. Okay, so let's start with the property. Okay, so when we have created our application, we have created some data types as well. So these are the different data types we have created, right? Address, customer, payment, and purchase. So if you say you want to go with the customer, okay. So here you can see how I can going to create a property. So property has three different modes. Okay, when we are going to create a property, we have three different modes. We call it single mode, page mode, and advanced mode of the property. Okay. Okay, when I will create it from here, you will not get that picture. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create some property without first from there. So there are different ways to create the property. So from here, if you see you are in the your case, I'm not going to create it in this label. Let's say we are going to create a purchase work. So this is the your work group. Okay, this is the class group. Sorry. So if you are creating anything rule here, it will be available in all the work type. So let's say we are going to create some property in this one. So if you say you're going to create in the data model, you can see the property. Okay. So let's say like we can say we are maintaining as a total amount. Okay. So this is we are going to create a property in this place. Yeah. So when you're creating the property, okay. So now you can see that the property four things. The ID applies to class. This is the label. Okay, type. This is the type property, and this is the rule set. We are going to store the rule property. Okay, and this is the rule set. It will be going to use for you for rule validation, deployment, version control. Everything is the rule set because that's the your container of your rules. Okay, so in property type, you can see you want to change the type of that. So here actually I was talking about the different modes of it: single value, page mode, and advanced mode. So here you can see that in the single mode you have different type of property. So by default, when you are creating the first time, it will come as a text. Okay, it will not come in the format. So if you like, if you want actually like if it's a total amount, I want to make it a decimal field. So I change the type of the property here. Okay, and then I save the property. Okay, so this is the way you can see I have created a property from here. Let's see to create one more property. So let's see we go and we going to create one more property. Okay. So here what I'm going to do is yeah, you can say quantity. Okay. So let's say total quantity we actually we are doing one more. So total quantity again it need to be an integer field. Okay. So yeah. So if you see when you are creating the any property, what the four things you are going to give. First thing actually decide that you are going to create a property and what is the description. So this is the ID it's going to be created. It should not contain any spaces within that. And then you're going to create to the applies to class. So if you're creating, so this is the main thing you need to understand. When you are creating a rule, where you should create it. So if you have created it here, so if you see what will happen there. So if I have refreshed it, so now you can see that once after created the property, the data model came into there. So within that data model, I have created the property. So this property total amount is there. So that total amount now it will be available in both work type, payment and purchase. Yeah. So this is the total quantity. Now we are going to create from here. And there is one more way to create it. Now you see, you are now aware that you are going to create a single mode of the property. So if you create new additional configuration, you can see here itself, you can choose integer and you can, no need to go to the in detail. It will not going to go to the properties form window now. So it will create and close the window from here. So that property is created. So if you refresh it now, you will see that you will get that property here as well. Okay, so there will be two properties is created now: total amount and total quantity. Okay.
So what is the difference between property and data model? It's
Okay. Data model is the category, actually like the category of the rule,
okay.
and property is the rule.
Okay.
So okay, I'll tell you if you see it here. So you can see that within the category you have different type of rule available to create. So within the data model you can create all this type of rule: data flow, data page, data set, all are belongs to data model category. And property is one of the type of the rule within the data model, and then total amount is the type of the property like the rule. So if you see in this, actually you have process. Within the process, you have keys, work parties, validate, flow, user action. So there are different rules which is there in the process category. So these are the actually, like if you see in the records, you will see the different category of the rules. So these are the different categories Pega has defined that.
Okay.
So these are the different category of the rules. Okay. Within that, you have another subcategory. These are the subcategory now. So this is the main category, and within that, the type of the rule which is available. And then if you go click onto that, it will give you that type of instances of that rule.
So how do you determine which one to select, whether it is property or data set and all of that?
Yeah, that's actually like your designing part, right? It's like how you are going to, like if it's a customer, like how you are going to identify a customer.
Okay.
Right. So that is the customer, you name his name, phone number, DOB, right? And it's like you are going to get a primary key. So you want to get a customer ID into that. So if you say customer 1, 2, 3, if the same name, same date will come, right? So if you say you want to get the customer ID to identify that. So you can, so if you are in a customer page, so you are like a data type, you want to create a multiple properties here. So if you say you want to create the customer ID, then you want to create a text, then you want to create the multiple properties here. Customer ID, okay, you have first name, so this is actually like it's creating the property for you. So here actually like you can see, you can change the type of it as well. Boolean, currency, date, time, date, decimal, email, integer, phone, email. So there actually like you can put the different one. Fancy we are not going to discuss. Okay, complex is nothing but we are going to discuss. This is the 4 type. We are going to discuss that as well. Okay, so first name, last name, like if you say email, there you can go for type of the property email, and then you have phone number. So that actually we have the phone type of the property. Okay. So like the date of birth.
Yeah.
That actually you want to be as a date. So that you can just go for date only. And if you want the anniversary date, so that also you can put as a date only. Okay. And then if you want to see customer type, like if it's a regular customer or like that, you can say with the type you want to create that as a pick list. So this is actually like I'll tell you about that. So this is actually like we're going to create as a drop down. So
Yes.
that is like you can decide that what is the customer type. So if you can say is a regular customer or is a